Hey! What we got going on here? Some bloody hobbit's house by the look of things. I might get little hobbits moving instead of Providence. And so, no problem with the carpet getting a little bit wet. It's synthetic, so it'll soon dry out and it won't go rotten. The additions, the wood to help the climbing into, and I've put the bracket up. It's a 90-degree angle bracket which I've nailed to the tree just above Providence's house at the minute. So he's going to have two houses to choose from. So this one will be just above his other house, and the piece of wood, the piece of bark like this, which Providence crawls up to, if you remember, some of you remember the photos, I've got this thick piece of bark which extends about 3 feet, nailed to the tree and then nailed to the side. Well, I undid that from the tree today and moved it up so it encompasses both. So a bit like a conveyor belt really, or a set of steps or stairs for squirrels, so they can crawl up the bark on the lower level and come round, and then crawl up the higher bark and then come around onto these things. Because there's nothing for it to grab hold of here. You see, this is a real poor design. There's no thought at all. And they give you this tiny little hook with tiny little screws. And it's in the back of this very thin back part of the wood. And so within no time at all, that's going to go rotten. And the actual whole thing is going to fall out of the tree. Probably even without it being rotten on a windy day. And so, things like that bother me, because you could have a nest in there, you could have baby squirrels, and then somebody without any vision or care, with that crappy little fixing, which evidently just wasn't going to do the job, should be banned or fined. Seriously. I might start being an animals activist, I reckon, brave. And so, well, that's how it is so far, and I've got an addition. What I'm going to do is, you see, this bone that I found in the graveyard, it's very dense and hard, and some of you remember when I found this, there had been a squirrel already having a bit of a nibble on that. Here you can see also, and so one of the viewers who had a squirrel of his own recommended that, you see, all around here, all of this, all around here has been chewed by a squirrel. And so it's perfect for putting a piece of string around it and dangling it just off the side, off the bark. So they've got that so they can wear the teeth down, because squirrels need to do that, like guinea pigs and things like that. And then I'm going to decorate the sides with, I had an old bird table and it's gone all rotten, and so I salvaged enough pieces of this to dress the outside with. And so I'm just going to put them up like that, more like that, so it looks kind of like, very farmy, and it's the perfect colour, and the rain will fall off and protect the inside much longer. All I'm going to do is glue and tack a little bit, so I'm going to do that when these have dried out. I've got these drying out. At the moment they're full of wood lice and little bugs, and then what I have actually got, I was thinking I was going to put some of this white cushion foam inside, you know, rip it up into small pieces. I thought that would be great because it doesn't compress. It you know, keeps its integrity. And then I thought, well, okay, let's have a look then, see if I can, you know, steal a little bit out one of my cushions. And I opened this one, and then I thought, that feels like down. I thought, let me just cut a little bit. And so I cut a little bit, and true enough, it is down. And you can see, down is the smallest little feathers. Now down is the breast feathers of ducks, which are very, very fine, and these are not down, I don't think, but the feathers. And so I was thinking, well, I could line it with feathers, but because they're so small and light, the chances are they would get scattered every time he's in and out. He'd be dragging, and every time I breathe in, he's going to get a bit of his nose and probably going to do his head in. So I think I'll just pop those back in there. And you see, down is what, you know, it's like eider downs. It's what, you know, top quality duvets are made with. And so I'm going to have to put a few stitches in that, because already they're starting to come out all over the place. So I think I'll go back with the original plan, which was, you know, the acrylic fibre stuff. That's much easier to manage, and if he wants to take out some of it, he can just, you know, grab a lump of it and dump it. But that's the state of play at this moment in time. And I was thinking, like, what am I going to get to put on the top? I want something that's, you know, nature colour coordinated. And thinking, like, what have I got? Then I remembered that I had some offcuts of the carpets that had been laid down, you know, several years ago. And I'd put them in one of the store rooms. And so I thought, well, perfect. Beautiful natural colours. And so by the time I've got those other natural colours on the side, then I'm going to decorate further by just getting more of these. I'll get more twigs and leaves and dry them out, and then I can just tack them to the side, so it's kind of like something like that. And so on top of the green underlay of that slatting, then that's pretty cool camouflage, isn't it? It's gonna look like a squirrel's tray, and so I'm quite excited about that. And so there we have it, guys. He's going to have all he needs. There's a little bone to chew on, because he always used to be chewing on my ornamental rocks. And so, yeah, I think it's looking really cool. And even without anything in there, that's going to be super warm. And unless he's got a gale blowing through, you see, if I fill it with the down, he's not going to be able to block up the hole. But I suppose, you know, the resourceful enough and go and get some leaves of his own to do that job with. But I think I'm going to fill it half full with that white stuff, and then it will bed down in the nest, and then he can dig under if he wants to, or stuff some up at the window. And so I'll make them big bits, you know, so they're not all falling out. And I'll do that, you know, in a bit. So that's the state of play. I'm really looking forward to how it's going to come on. And let's Let's have a look, see if we can imagine what we're going to be looking like. So by the time we have these all nicely finished off, you know, at the sides like that, like a jolly good job, and then by the time we've got some leaves hanging over like that, then we're looking good, aren't we? Or even hanging down like that, just you know, something like that, so it looks actually very unobtrusive and very squirrel Dre-like. So the neighbour won't have too much to say about it because it's not an eyesore, and because he knows how involved I am with my little mate, when he sees this on top of the other one, he's probably going to be thinking I'm starting a colony. And I've already, by the way, found another one of these boxes behind the bush on our property, and it's all soggy and it doesn't look like it's been used for several months. I don't know whether it was used this year, but I asked the neighbour if she knew anything about it. She says didn't, so I'm going to get that one, I'm going to refurbish that one, and I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to put it on another tree. So I've hung out that little tip box. I've hung that from a tree, so this springtime we're going to have it all going on. So watch this space.